Tempers flare and voices are raised in a remarkably fractious meeting, says the New York Times, who are right there on the spot. Can you believe that he is the President of the United States of America?
No.
President Trump and his painted houseboy, J.D. Vance, loudly berated President Volodymyr Zelenskyy of Ukraine, an actual real-life hero, in an explosive televised shouting match unlike any seen in the Oval Office between an American president and a foreign leader in modern times. This man came to my office. He looks like my Mexican gardener. He was very disrespectful. He didn't say anything about my hair. I had people work on that for hours this morning. He didn't say anything about it, which was mean. He didn't say I was handsome and smart. I'm smart. I'm smart in numbers that nobody has ever seen before. In other words, he comes in, doesn't say nice things, and that is a total disgrace for our country. Trump and Vance castigated Volodymyr Zelenskyy for not saying thank you enough. Zelenskyy was guilty of being insufficiently appreciative. He didn't say thank you enough. He was specifically not being grateful enough for U.S. support in its war with Russia, and Trump and his Poodle, the Poodle with the Guyliner, sought to strong-arm him into making a peace deal on whatever terms that Donnie dictates. I want all of your everything, and I'll give you nothing in return. It's a tremendous deal. Nobody ever saw such a tremendous deal. I'd go so far as to say it's the deal of the century. So you give me everything, and I give you nothing back. Sounds great. Where do I sign? Voices raised, tempers flared. Trump threatened to abandon Ukraine altogether if Zelenskyy did not go along with this mafia-like shakedown.
Absolutely.
I mean, really? Hey, America, wake up. It's later than you think. Talking over the Ukrainian leader, J.D. Vance, Trump's Poodle with the Guyliner, said that Zelenskyy was disrespectful for him to come to the Oval Office and make his case in front of the American news media, and demanded that he thank Mr. Trump for his leadership. I mean, okay, I could be appalled, but I've decided to be amused. But maybe that's just me. Voices raised, tempers flaring. Trump threatened to abandon Ukraine altogether if Zelenskyy did not go along with this mafia-like shakedown. Like Trump promised his boss, Vlad the Insaner, that he would get the deal done, and now he was going to have to say he didn't do it. And, there is the tape, of course. The tape.
Disgusting.
The VCR. Very, very bad. Talking over the Ukrainian leader, Vance said Zelenskyy was disrespectful for him to come to the Oval Office and make his case in front of Americans and their news media, and demanded that he thank Trump for his leadership. What a pathetic suck-up is J.D. Vance. 8 years ago, J.D. Vance said that Donald Trump was America's Hitler. And now he thinks he's been sent by God to save America? Quite the turnaround there, J.D. What changed your mind? I think that Vance is just trying to reassert himself after being sent to sleep in the doghouse after Elon Musk became first buddy. I mean, nobody even knows who you are anymore, JD. You used to be somebody. And then some weirdo on horse tranquilizer comes along and Donnie isn't looking lovingly at you anymore. You know what that's like, Melania, when Donnie doesn't look lovingly at you anymore?
I don't care.
She really doesn't. Not remotely interested. And then Trump jumped in and told Zelenskyy, you're not really in a good position right now. Yes, sitting in the same room as those two. He said, you're gambling with World War III.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. The amount of times I've been told since I was at school that we're on the verge of World War III. If any of it had been true, we'd be on World War 27 now. We would have had almost as many as they've done those car films with Vin Diesel, whatever they're called. Trump said, you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. Pretty. pretty, because, that's what war is, when you only watch it on TV, sitting at home with your foot up, with a doctor's note saying you can't come out to play in Vietnam. And this exchange in front of TV cameras was one of the most dramatic moments ever to play out in public in the Oval Office since that weird guy on horse tranquilizers brought his kid to climb all over him and tell Donald Trump that he wasn't the real president and that he should shut up. I bet Trump's still steaming about that, thinking, I'm going to get that kid back. He's on a list. And Trump's effectively sided with Russia, essentially. America... No, not America, just Trump and his cult fans have changed sides, essentially. They're not on our side anymore. They're on Russia's side. And why might that be, do you think? And Trump, of course, falsely blamed Ukraine for starting the war and called Zelenskyy a dictator, which is odd because if he actually was a dictator, Trump would be all over him like a lovesick schoolgirl. And despite Trump's lies, it was Russia that first attacked Ukraine in 2014 and then mounted a full-scale invasion in 2022. And I remember being on the air for about 30 days straight when the first shot was fired. And we all thought we were going to die because the Russians were shelling that nuclear power plant. I could probably spell it, but I can't say it. And Zelenskyy is not a dictator. He became the president on the back of a landslide election victory in 2019. And that is an actual landslide, not a really tight race that was made to look like a landslide because of some stupid old rules about electoral colleges, which give Republicans a huge advantage by making right-wing states with 6 people and a cow as important as huge cities in Democrat states. And President Vladimir Putin of Russia, by contrast to Zelenskyy, is an actual dictator whose election's been widely dismissed as frauds. You can see why Trump loves him so much, apart from, whatever he's got on him. One of the reasons why he loves him so much. And the real reason that Donald Trump loves Vladimir Putin so much must be really bad, because the stuff that we know about Trump is terrible. And he's told us about that, bragged about it, on camera, with a microphone. So can you imagine what the things that Donald Trump wants to say, to stay secret are? Trump seemed to be trying to put his rift with Zelenskyy to the side on Thursday. He was asked by some lackey whether he still considers the Ukrainian leader a dictator, and Trump said, "Did I say that? I can't believe I said that." I mean, do you need any more information or proof that this is not a man to be trusted? That thing that people, his fans, say that, he doesn't mean everything he said. You can't take him completely literally. Well, that's no good in a friend, is it? Hey, friend, I'll meet you at a restaurant at 7 o'clock. Sure, I'll be there. See you there. Okay. And you go to the restaurant and they don't show up because, you can't take everything they say literally. Would you have that friend for more than 10 seconds? He's not a serious person. You can't make a deal with someone like that. It's pointless. The rest of the world should do its best to disengage now. And you know what? Us, the little people, not leprechauns. We can do our bit too. We can vote with our money. You don't have to get a placard out. You don't have to march up and down the front of a building. You don't have to risk being arrested by the law by making your presence felt outside the American embassy. None of that is necessary. Just stop buying things that prop up that regime. And, Trump promised to end the war within 24 days on the campaign trail. So we're going to add that to the endless list of lies about what he was going to do within the first day. And his cult fans heard all of that and took on board his ceaseless lying when in office the first time round and said to themselves, yes, I'll vote for him. He puts America first and he tells it like it is. If I get through this 3-hour show without somebody calling me up and telling me that Donald Trump tells it like it is, I'll be happy.